Okay, welcome back, everybody. Ciez, you're here with me. Is that correct?
For now, and
Okay, we got Ciez via audio on
hopefully
Skype.
for the rest of the game, yes.
Oh boy, I can hear already that it's just chopping your voice to pieces with some kind of compression. All right, well, we're just gonna try this again. We got to keep up with the players. They're already in game, so let's join them, shall we? All right, here we go. I'm gonna introduce them. Once again, let's see. I got to fix my overlay though, because it has switched sides. All right, talk to me, Ciez, while I work on this.
Alright, so this time we have OMGPOP playing as the Oberkommando West, which has been seemingly the dominant Axis faction in this tournament. Not many people are opting to play with Austare, and not many people have had success with Austare. And in the south on Longer Sky, we have Cruzz, who chose to go with the Soviets, which is a bit different from OMGPOP's Game 1 pick of the U.S. forces as the Allies.
Okay, it's coming through. It's coming through. I got my overlay set up. And we have, Soviets versus OKV. The sides are reversed. They'll play this game 2 on the same map of Langrskaya reversed. And then game 3, we will move to a new map, which was determined by a veto system between the players before the match started. So this is what we expected to see the most of, right? Right, Ciez? Soviets versus OKV.
Absolutely, I think most people would pick that those are the two top 1v1 factions currently.
But surprisingly, we saw tons of USF in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely caught me as a bit of a surprise. OMGPOP was showing some really interesting USF builds with like the flak half-track and the M20 with the Greyhound as well, which seemed a bit different than a lot of people trying to rush a Sherman, rush that major tech a lot quicker.
All right, well, his USF play just got rejected big time in Game 1. I wonder if he'll try USF when he returns to Allies in Game 3, or if he, too, will switch to Soviets. I don't know if he's been practicing Soviets. He's been playing pretty much exclusively USF in this tournament, I believe.
Yeah, I know I caught a game between him and Khan on the ladder where he was playing Soviet, and he might have played Soviet one game in the tournament that I caught, but he really has been relying a lot more on that USF.
Look at the Schwer Wehrmacht Schlepper pushing these rifles around. It's getting down to about half health. These Soviet conscripts have it surrounded. It's very difficult to actually kill that thing, though, right? I mean, Pop is probably going to be able to reverse it.
Yeah, early game, unless you have somehow one chasing it or like an M20.
All right, I got to apologize to everybody for our technical difficulties, but when the voice comms go down with my co-caster, it's really hard to get everything going properly. We hope that Skype will continue to at least deliver audio from Ciez coming at us from... where are you in the States?
I'm in South Carolina.
From South Carolina.
So East Coast, for those of you that aren't familiar with U.S. geography.
We got a lot of European viewers and players in this game. In fact, OMGPOP is the last remaining representative from North America. The rest of the three finalists that we'll see tonight are all from Europe.
Yeah, and to be fair, like if if Love Nest tried to tell me where he was from in Germany, I would probably have no clue. So I wasn't saying that as an insult to people, not knowing U.S. geography. It's hard to keep up with your own country, let alone where everybody else is in every other country in this community.
Right on. We are a global community. We got representatives from all over the place. It would be interesting to compile a list of the countries that were represented in this 1v1 tournament. I think we'd have quite a few. Later on tonight, as Ciez mentioned, we will see Love Nest from Germany versus our top seed Jeslin from Spain. So that'll be the main event coming up later after this best of 5 finishes. Who do you think's winning in the early game here? It looks pretty tight, neck and neck. You see any advantage?
Well, going along with our audio technical difficulties, my Ko2 still says waiting for match to begin.
Oh, you're kidding me. What? Whoa, we've got some... Oh, man. All right, well... Okay, then you can provide some color. You can't see the game, can you, huh?
No, I'm just winging it. I mean,
oh, my God. All right, maybe we got to restart
rely on you
Heroes and re-invite you. All right. Are you watching the stream? You can at least see it a few seconds later, right?
I could turn the stream on. That might work.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous though, because then we're taxing your internet. Put it on like low resolution or something, perhaps. I can tell you that Cruzz hasn't chosen a Soviet commander yet, and that OMGPOP is going the very popular fortifications doctrine. And as is typical with OMGPOP, he's putting all his eggs in one basket. He's pushing straight through the middle of the map for a cutoff point, and Cruzz, his Soviet play, he's got him just completely surrounded. Like, everything on the map is red except for this one sliver of blue that cuts right through the middle of the map. And I don't even know if if Cruzz is disconnected, because I think he's got everything connected. Pop would need to cap a few more points, like this one and that one, before he is able to actually achieve any kind of cutoff. So right now, Cruzz is getting massive resources. You can see he's got plus 36 fuel and plus 58 ammo, and you know, OMGPOP is getting next to nothing. So this is looking pretty bad for Pop. He's got to lower this flag. Okay, that one's white, and he's got to lower that one. Okay, but look at Cruzz is connected through the middle VP, and he's got this demo here. This could be horrible. Oh, Cruzz didn't pop the demo. Pop walked right by it. And now we can watch Cruzzy's resources. As soon as Pop lowers this VP point, Cruzzy's resources will go pew. Down they go. But even still, he's getting more than OMGPOP.
Just a bit interesting that Pop is going for the cutoff play as when he's spawning on the north. It seems like it's a lot harder to hold that southern cutoff and even get there than the northern one, which is a lot more exposed.
Yeah, that's why we're playing Langrskaya reversed, because we found that when the Wehrmacht or OKW, there's the demo going off finally. He didn't get as much as he could have on that retreating MG squad. But when the Axis was in the south, they could creep up and just cover this point and just set up MGs all around here and occupy this house and this green cover here and yellow cover, and they could just control that northern VP and really put a pin on the allied player. And so we decided for this tournament that we're going to play this map reverse positions, where the Axis player has to start in the north, and it has generated some fantastic games. We saw this game 1 between Symbiosis and Twister that was just epic. You guys want to watch a great USF versus OKW game? Check out game 1 of Symbi and Twister. Unbelievable game. It goes about 55 minutes, and you never know who's going to win it until the very, very, very end. We also saw we also saw on this map a game between Barton and Korean Army that comes down to 6 VPs. Just a sick game between Soviets and Wehrmacht. So all 4 factions have shown us fantastic games on Langrskaya reversed. I think we'll stick with it. I like it this way.
Yeah, I think it's better, and I actually got myself in a little bit of trouble watching that Twister Symbiosis game. I really wanted to see the end of it, and my wife really wanted to go grocery shopping, and I kept telling her, hang on, it's almost over, but neither of them wanted to lose. They both wanted to win so badly.
Oh, hell yeah, that was game 1, and that was a tight series. Twister was our number 3 seed, and Symbiosis, as you surely know by now, went on to win that game with just an amazing comeback from OKW and just incredible Panther preservation against, like literally half a dozen bombing runs from the P-47 Thunderbolt of Twister, and Twister just could not finish him off. And Symbiosis went on to upset the number 3 seed and send him home. Now, you know what I didn't get to catch, and what I wanted to catch was Symbi versus Love Nest. I don't even know if those games were close or not. I hope that somebody casts those games because I predicted Symbiosis would give him a great fight, but I really don't know what happened there. So hopefully maybe Computer Heat will pick it up, or Romeo, and we'll see those on a YouTube channel coming to you soon. I'm interested in watching them, that's for sure. Okay, still no commander selection from Cruzz. He's pretty comfortable with his Soviets at the moment. He has got shock rifle, Lend-Lease, would you believe, and guard motor available to him when he chooses to pick. Pop looked pretty bad early, but now he's kind of settled in. He hasn't lost any squads. There's a lot of capping going on. Wow, this house comes down already. This house in the center, it's been taken out by a barrage. Cruzzy's just trying to remove the house. He knows how much Pop loves to camp houses and how well he cycles squads in and out of houses, and Cruzzy just did not want to deal with that. So even though there was no enemy in the house at the moment, he just targets it with the field gun and with a barrage, and he just eliminates that house from the game. So he's eliminating a tool that he knows Pop can use effectively. Pop has got a Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251. I love to say that. I love to say that, CS. I was trying to teach Romeo how to say it, and he did pretty good. You want to have a shot at it?
I can say the first part, but I don't know if I can say the second part. My German will probably be about as good as Romeo as was yesterday.
All right, come on, let's hear it.
I can say the Sonderkraftfahrzeug, kind of.
Okay, pretty good. That just means utility vehicle in German. All right, we got a shock unit coming out from Cruzz. It's the T-70 light tank. And let's see how he's going to fare versus the aforementioned SDKFZ 251. He'll probably do pretty well, particularly after this field gun gets a big hit in. Now let's see if Cruzz is going to give chase. He's not. Instead, he's going to stop these Sturmpioniere who are trying to raise the center VP. We do have a stretched up Volksgrenadier squad from OMGPOP who's giving chase, but the T-70, one of its strengths, of course, is its speed, and when it's on this main road, it can really jet, and it puts the blasters on and runs away from these stretched up Volksgrenadier. Pop was able to retreat the Sonderkraftfahrzeug into his base. He's getting repaired by the pioneers that come stock with the mechanized regiment headquarters. And this game has settled very interestingly into the split that we see along the main road on Michi's glorious Langraskaya map that was upgraded by our friends at Relic, Matt, Eagleheart, and the other map makers to be available to co-2 players. And this is the sort of mid-game split that we often see. And one of the reasons we love this map is because this split is not horizontal across the middle of the map. It's actually vertical. And a vertical split between the two headquarters allows for all sorts of harassment on both sides.
Yeah, I really like also the importance of that middle VP, given that it can connect your territory even if your opponent gets your cutoff, which makes there lots of constant and intense battles to control the center of the map, while simultaneously having to harass the sides, like you were saying. The vertical split makes the sides a lot more open for harassment, meaning there's always fighting going on all kinds of spots on Langris, and it looks like that T-70 went down.
Yes, it did. Pop has definitely settled down. I was worried that Cruzzy was going to like 3-0 him in some furious, bit of face stomping, but that's not going to be the case. Our number 2 seed is not going to go down so quietly. He has got a Puma out to assist his SDKFZ, and the combination Puma, Shrek, Raketenwerfer was able to just do a quick kill on the T-70 before it was able to retreat. And now Pop is looking perfectly comfortable. Cruzzy has no more vehicles. He's down to 3 conscripts, 2 combat engineers, an MG, and a field gun. And Pop is populating the map, shall I say, with tons of strong OKV infantry, and he's starting to collect vet. His Panzerschreck up. Volksgrenadier have 2 stars already, and he is backing them up. And we see another aggressive truck placement from Pop. This time he has back-teched to the battle group headquarters. And so this is going to be a reinforcement point, and he'll able to heal his soldiers right here, right at the front line. So anybody who's hurt, as soon as this finishes building, will be getting healed up by the medics that will pop out. And if Pop so chooses, he can spend, 300 manpower to get a retreat point there?
Yes, yep, 300, and he can toggle it on and off as he needs to.
Okay,
And that would give him a really big advantage holding that munition point, holding his own fuel, and especially that mid VP that we were just talking about as so important on this map.
all right, well, we see the medics pop out, and they begin to administer, healing up his units at the front. This squad in particular is eager to reinforce. Let's see, OMGPOP has just no manpower. He's reinforcing everything right now, and so guys got to wait in line to reinforce. In fact, this squad did not yet get reinforced because Pop just simply couldn't afford it. They are going to move forward and fight off the double vet conscripts that are trying to decap and recap the center VP. We have a nice mine by Cruzz on the road. He's going to see if mines can win games as they did for him in game 1. The Puma is going to suffer an 18 nade. It's got a damaged engine, but you know that's not really going to be a big threat because Pop can simply retreat into his hardpoint, and right away he's spent the manpower to upgrade his battle group headquarters as a forward retreat point. So yesterday, Romeo and I witnessed Pop with the most aggressive truck placement on Samoski that we've ever seen. It was game 1 against Aimstrong, who, you know, Aimstrong looked pretty unbeatable for a while, but then he ran up against Pop's Samoski OKV, and Pop's just incredibly aggressive. He had all 3 trucks across the bridge in the middle of Samoski. And, you know, Romeo and I, we both thought, is he crazy? How can he possibly hold that position? Because, you know, the middle of Samoski constantly changes hands, usually. But he did, and never were his trucks in question. Never did they get attacked. Simon flirted with a wraparound base rush, but he wasn't able to carry through with it. And Pop just wound up just playing a perfect OKV on Samoski and holding all of his forward trucks. Now, he tried that again in the semifinals against Love Nest and did not have the same success. Love Nest was able to send him away. That was very interesting. So that's how Pop wound up here in the 3rd place game. We have a very static front line occurring.
I didn't catch the games against Love Nest. Do you know if Love Nest was playing Soviet or USF when Pop tried the same thing on Samoski?
Oh, well, it wasn't Samoski, first of all. They started, I believe... Where did they start? I know they played 2 games on Feynmanville Approach. That might have even been the first 2 games. And then they moved. Where did they move to? I'm not sure. It's becoming a blur. I've been casting. I casted 8.5 hours yesterday and 6 hours the day before. And today we plan to cast for a good 4 or 5 hours. I don't know. Check YouTube. Back me up. Back me up, guys. Romeo has probably a catalog in his brain of everything that occurred, but I know that Love Nest played a really effective Soviets on Feynmanville against Pop's OKV and was able to defeat Pop. That series actually went to the 5th game. That went to the ace game. It was a pretty close series.
I was going to say, on the Samoski game against Aimstrong, I don't know if it was just Pop being Pop and having his constant super aggressive truck placement, or if he made a tactical decision knowing that Aimstrong tech lieutenant, which means he has no access to indirect fire and no easy access to an AT gun. So he might have just known that Aimstrong wouldn't be able to field anything that could easily dislodge him in the center. Maybe that's why he chose, you know, that super, super aggressive truck placement that you were talking about.
That was an amazing. The stars of that show were Pop's Puma, which eventually got 5 stars of vet. His little light infantry gun was his only ranged unit, wound up getting 37 kills or so. And then, you know, in response, you know, Simon had a Scott that also got, you know, 30 plus kills. And, you know, but the thing is, his Jacksons just couldn't handle the Puma until it was too late. It was a fascinating game. I suggest you guys check it out. Game 1 between Aimstrong and OMGPOP. This game, Ciez, we have a very static front line. I think Pop is pretty comfortable, though, although Cruzzy's building a very large army, and, you know, instead of trying to tech vehicles or anything, he's just building this very kind of low-tier army that cannot be penetrated. He's got 2 76mm field guns. He's got a Maxim. He just called a mortar. He's got 2 mortars on the scene. You know, he still hasn't picked a doctrine, a commander. He still hasn't picked a company for Soviets yet, which is fascinating. He's working all with tiered units. He's got 2 mortars, 2 AT guns, like I said, and they are just rocking this totally static front line between one another. There's a bit of harassment going on with the VP and some points on the wings. Man.
And I think Cruzz is going to want to try and punish that aggressive truck placement. I actually got some Steam messages saying Khan that Loveness used the 120mm mortar to barrage OMGPOP.
He did.
And so I'm curious as to why Cruzz maybe hasn't. It looks like he has guard motor down there. He could have those 120s if he wanted to, but maybe he doesn't need the extra range. Maybe he knows that these normal 82mm mortars will be able to hit that truck and just indirect flare pop out of it. Probably based on the fact that he's floating so much fuel, pick some sort of Soviet call-in to carry him into the late game.
Yeah, clearly Cruzz is waiting to decide which late game call-in he wants. He's resisting choosing a company. He's sacrificing the early unlocks from the command points for the ability to decide which late game unlock he would like. So let's see what his options are. We have the KV-8 and IS-2 from Shock Rifle. We have the M4C Sherman. I really don't expect to see this from Lend-Lease. And we have, of course, the T-3485s from Guard Motor. So I expect it to be the first or the third commander. Well, let's see what kind of tank he wants to get. Let's see. Cruzzy's got 220 fuel, 400 manpower, and 11 CPs. So I mean, really, he's gonna have access. You know, the IS-2 is 11 CPs, and the T-3485 is only 10. So he could have either one. He just needs to decide which one he wants. Which way would you go, Ciez?
I think with the static nature of this front line, I'd probably go with the IS-2. The other reason being, if Cruzz did his research, he would know that OMGPOP is probably going to want to stall for a KT. You could get an IS-2 in 10 more fuel, which is a lot sooner than Pop is going to field that KT. And your IS-2 is really good with Pumas or anything else that Pop has, and I think it would be a really good tool to get line of sight on that battle group headquarters. Let those Ziz guns lay in some rounds. And I don't think Pop has anything that could counter it for the next 5 or 6 minutes until he's able to field a KT.
All right, well, these guys, being the aggressive players they are, they don't know how to make a static game. They don't know how to camp. These guys are all aggression. It really popped off there. We saw an amazing play by Cruzz attacking ground through the hedgerow to kill Pop's anti-aircraft gun. Pop now has 53 pop cap, and Cruzz has 54. So you can see they're still neck and neck. Cruzz has decided never to detonate this chart. Man, Pop, he is throwing everything he's got forward. All of his infantry is pushing. And wow, Cruzz is gonna have to retreat. Pop actually has him cut off of the left side of the map. You can see on my mini map that all of this is flashing up here. And finally, oh wow, he went against your prediction. We have the T-3485s hitting the field.
Yeah, it's interesting because T-3485s don't seem that great against the Shrek Volks, whereas the IS-2 frontally is, the Volks have a really hard time penetrating. He might just want that mobility and the fact that there's 2 tanks that can run around the map, do a lot more damage than just a single IS-2 that can do it in the same amount of time.
Oh my god, Ciez, he's going balls out, man. He threw both T-3485s right up the middle as fast as he could, chased the Puma behind the Schwer Panzer headquarters, suffered just an immense amount of fire, both from the Shrek squad over here and from the HQ, and somehow has not yet managed to lose the T-3485. This is the kind of stuff we saw from Q's yesterday. Microing Panthers, just balls to the wall. I love it when Cruzz gets going like this. He's back into his territory, but look at this. He's choosing to repair up here instead of running these tanks as far away as possible. Now he's going to change his mind and try to back into a corner, and somehow, both T-3485s have survived, and OMGPOP has lost that Puma. An amazing counter push from Cruzz, and it came at just the right time because OMGPOP, all of his units were thinned out because he had just completed this big attack, right? So his infantry was all getting whittled down. He was about close to retreat anyway. And so when those T-3485s came, man, they just blasted through. But hey, OMGPOP, he lost the Puma, and now he's got a Jagdtiger out, and he's coming in. The infantry are pushing forward again. He's got Volksgrenadier here with 4 stars of vet. We got a lot of vetted up conscripts to try to fight them. We got an intense scrap between all this infantry. They're still microing their guys. We got the 5th star of vet achieved by this Shreked up Grenadier squad, and we got the Jagdpanzer pushing forwards. These T-34-85s, one of them's hiding in the background. The other one's hiding here behind the 2 AT guns. So these dudes both still have massive armies, as you can see in my new obs mode. All the shields are up there for your viewing pleasure. You can know exactly what they've got. Cruzz is pushing forward. They're all fighting around the carcass of that AA half-track. Wow, the Schwer headquarters even covers a little bit of the VP circle. That's a bonus. Pop is benefiting from his aggressive truck placement. These conscripts are trying to lower the center VP. They do get it down. That'll stop the drain at 284 victory points. They're going to actually try to finish raising it. We've got a lot of indirect fire coming in as Cruzz moves up one of his T-34-85s. He's trying to position his field guns. Oh, Ciaz, I bet you wish you were in this, man. This is becoming quite a good game. Are you jealous?
I'm super jealous, yeah. I mean, just from watching the stream, it's that 85 push was amazing. Like you said, it was perfectly timed for Cruzz, and it's actually curious why Pop's going for the Jagdpanzer before. If he had just waited another minute, he probably could have fielded the Panther.
Yeah, I don't know. That was often a question yesterday. You know, like Barton did the same thing. Instead of ever saving for a Panther, he kept relying on the Jagdpanzers, and he wound up losing the game in the end. And Romeo and I wondered if at one point in that game on Samoski that wound up knocking Barton out of the tournament, if he should have saved and tried to get a Panther on the field.
Yeah, I mean, the Jagdpanzer's a good tank, but when you already have the tech unlocked to get a Panther, I think the Panther is the better tank.
Oh man, it's unobservable now. The action is across such a wide front line. I'm going to go full screen for you guys for a second. We can see the field gun is trying to range the Jagdpanzer. We got mortar rounds falling in. We got vetted up conscripts. We got Maxim firing away even though he's pinned. We got MG on MG action. Here come the support infantry. You can see dudes dying. XP flowers popping everywhere. This one is down to one man. He has to retreat. The Maxim also has to retreat. The MG-34 retreats. They're retreating like dominoes across the field of Langrskaya. The Jagdpanzer still at very high health. These two vetted up Volksgrenadier squads are still very strong. They're going to push forward. Some conscripts are trying to lower this flag as the AT gun now enters barrage mode, and he's trying to go into Pop's retreat point and see if he can kill some of these retreated guys, but they're going to spread out and move away from the center of that barrage and avoid any casualties. We have this is classic Langrskaya play, seeing these mortars safely positioned behind the cover of the hedgerow, just constantly harassing the enemy. And look at Pop. You know, when a mortar is attacking you, you can't just sit back. You have to keep your guys moving, and you got to push forward, or those mortars will eventually whittle you away, and Pop's doing just that. He comes rushing forward with 2 MGs, rushing forward with his Volksgrenadier infantry. Let's see if they can afford to throw a nade in. Pop has got no ammo at all. They can't afford anything. They're going to have to do it with small arms fire. The T-34-85 is there to stop their harassment. Its first shell from its main gun kills 2 men, puts them on their bellies. They're trying to crawl behind the hedgerow. Oh man, both MGs start to open up as the conscripts try to push the front line back. Man, this is like a football scrimmage. The front lines are just digging into each other, trying to protect the quarterbacks. That's these tanks. Quarterback's pulling a sweep around the left side. He's going to try to annihilate this Grenadier squad. Can he get it? No, he cannot. They're going to retreat, and it's a short retreat path. OMGPOP is benefiting from that manpower they invested, but now Cruzz, wow, he does get a wipe. That was a nice shot. So much power there. 2 conscript squads, the T-34-85s. Wow, is he going to push even further? Cruzz is moving everything forward. The AT guns are coming out from around the corner. The conscripts are running in. Pop is being forced back to his retreat point. We've never seen Pop's hard point harassed in such a fashion. The T-34-85s are pushing forward. They're taking fire from the Tier 4 headquarters, but they don't care. They're going for it, man. This is the aggression we love to see from Cruzz, and he is all on top of Pop's hard point. There's a quintuple vet strapped up squad there to defend. Pop's trying to back his Jagdpanzer away, trying to repair it desperately. Cruzz is just pouring on the pressure. These 2 AT guns, if they can finally get set up and start ranging this AQ, they can start working on it, but he just can't find the position. Maybe they're hung up on each other, maybe they're hung up on all this infantry, but he just can't get those AT guns firing properly. Oh my God, it's death and destruction on Langrskaya.
I think you need to take a breath there, Robert. That was intense casting, but that was a great job describing the battle. And yeah, this is a really amazing push. This is exactly kind of what Cruzz needs. And I'm curious why Pop didn't put his med truck a little bit behind one of the houses, or even have built a Pack 43. You know, a Pack 43 behind the house could really help protect from those 85 who are just doing so much damage to his army.
He's done it! He's done it! Ciez has ranged that battle group headquarters and destroyed it with those 2 AT guns. And now, look at him. He's pushing forward even still. So, an amazing move from Ciez. Pop looked so comfortable, but perhaps it was that push right before the T-34-85s came out that began the downfall.
Yeah, I'm looking, and Pop literally has nothing left. He has 3 squads and a tank, and it's a damaged tank at that. I don't know how Pop's going to be able to pull this one out if he can.
Well, it could a comeback could start by Cruzz getting too aggressive with the AT guns and trading them to the enemy. He almost threw those AT guns away. Now they're going to soft pedal backwards. The battlefield is littered with support weapons. We've got an MG34 here, a Raketenwerfer here, another MG34. Cruzz has managed to cap the center VP. Somehow he has both T-34s still alive, and I am just so impressed by Cruzz's tank micro. Now he's starting to work on the Schwer Panzer headquarters. The Jägerpanzer wants to defend, but man, the AT guns are plugging away. The T-34 is plugging away, and it looks like that Schwer Panzer headquarters is gonna fall. Cruzz is just working magic on the battlefield.
Yeah, like you said, I think that is the first time we've seen Pop's forward base just get totally annihilated, and this is the risk you run. You know, you can get a big advantage having your base basically on the battlefield, but if you get pushed off like this, you lose all your tech, you lose all that investment, and you're left with nothing.
You know, Cruzz has shown us some of the best games of the tournament, really. Versus Barton, versus Jeslin in game 1, and now versus OMGPOP. Cruzz has really shown us some of the best games. But the point I would like to make is, what does this say about Jeslin, who 3-1'd Cruzz? Yeah? What does this say about Jeslin? What it says to me, Ciez, if I may, it says that Jeslin is so damn strong that he can make a player like this look bad. This is how strong Jeslin is. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of, if not the most consistent player. You know, it's rare that you see Jeslin have a quote-unquote bad game, whereas, you know, almost everyone else in the KO2 scene, you know, you can, like Love Nest, Cruzz, everybody, you know, you can play a lot of great games. They're obviously super talented, but sometimes they just have, you know, their off games. I think we saw a couple against Love Nest against Pop, you know, like he wired in his own engineer.
That was hilarious.
Just, you know, just unfortunate stuff like that, and I mean, that's the kind of thing that Jeslin, you know, the mistakes he just never seems to make, and it's pretty amazing how much he's able to get done as well with so few units sometimes.
And you know what it is about Jeslin? It's his strategic decision making. I mean, he has the micro and the tactics, that's a given. But the thing about Company of Heroes 2, and what we saw maybe with Love Nest, and maybe with Pop, and maybe even with Cruzz, is every once in a while you see a strategic mistake. But it's the level of consistency of Jeslin's strategic moves that just boggles your mind. Boggles your mind. Exactly. Always the right build orders, always the units in the right positions, never overextends and makes a move that he shouldn't make, you know? Always defends with all of his units properly. I made this point before in Alienware Arena. The way Jeslin is able to predict the battlefield, sort of see through the fog of war, know the enemy's moves before he even makes them and respond to them, is just, you just can't believe what you're seeing. It's almost like he's got map hacks or something. His awareness is the best in the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is if you watch his stream, the way he uses the tactical map, he uses it, him and Love Nest both actually use the tactical map a lot, and I attribute a lot of their battlefield awareness to constantly popping that thing up. It's like I use the analogy, it's like looking in your rear view mirror when you're driving. Just every 30 seconds you see that tactical map popping up, just keeping tabs on everything all over the map.
All right, well, we have checkmate occurring in front of our eyes as Cruzz pushes his 2 T-34s and a new T-70 forward. They kill the Jagdpanzer, and that is GG. Well played, Cruzz. Well played. I am thoroughly impressed. You gave me chills with the T-34 pushes and the way you were able to move in against this forward hardpoint of OMGPOP. I am impressed. Man, Allies win again. Allies win! Hey, everybody. What I meant to say is Cruzz wins again. He won as Axis in Game 1, and he won his Allies in Game 2. He's put up an impressive 2-0 lead against our number 2 seed. Is that it for Pop? One more game, and he's done. This is a money game, remember. They are playing for the third place prize. Ciez, are you still with me, brother?
Oh, I'm still with you. I'm here.
All right. Well, we've got audio. That's better than nothing. You guys can all imagine my man Ciez. Hopefully we can get him in the game. That's the first step. And then maybe someday if Skype is super nice to us, we can see his pretty mug as well. And his Christmas tree. You even have a Christmas tree lit up in the back of your room. Okay.
Yeah, I got a Christmas tree. I got a tie on and everything. I was totally ready for this.
Right? Suit up. Yeah. Need some shades next. Got a lot of community members in the chat. We have over 1,500 viewers. I have to thank Twitch homepage for that. And, of course, first and foremost, I have to thank Dr. Vox, our sponsor. Dr. Vox Rechtsanwälte. It's a legal services firm in Hamburg, Germany. He put up the cash to sponsor this $1,000 tournament. So big ups to you. If you guys like what you're seeing, don't be shy. Go ahead and follow us. That costs you nothing. We're collecting followers. We're up to 5,300. This channel has 1.6 million views. Tasty. The more numbers we have, the easier it is to seduce sponsors to support future events. So please follow us. You got my Twitter up there. You got Ciez's Twitter. We'll be right back after the break with game number 3. Stick with us.